to each other. It's really funny. Geneva was there, but I think we saw her in passing most of the time. She had it was a different what do you call it? A different agenda that the father had, and so just by happenstance, talking to people and getting to spend that time sitting still and listening to what others had to say made for quite the adventure. I met, I think, a few people. It's funny, again, when you're on some of those Zoom kind of calls and you see people, they see faces in these boxes just like we are right now. And then you turn around and you see them face to face and you're staring at them like, I think I know you, but I'm not sure. And so they recognize us sometimes better than we recognize them. And that's when they will ease the gap and tell you, yes, that's where you met. We met on, we've been on we've been on Zoom meetings together or something like that. So getting to chat with some of them. And I was, for a rare period of time, I was more social. I actually stayed out of the hotel room instead of typically what I've been known for, and Michelle knows this, is I would say hi and kind of wave at you through the lobby as I went, and then kind of go up and stay in my room. But a lot of times it was because I was working. I was working this time too, but I had made a decision that I was going to spend time getting to know people. Granted, it was off hours because we spent time in the lobby, sitting out there talking to people as they came through. But it was a good exercise for me to not be as socially awkward as I can be. If you give me too much time, give me too much rope, I'll prove it. But that's not really what I want to talk about. But to anyone that is watching from the Convergence, it's like greetings and thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. But there is a connection, and that is what we got out of it, or takeaways, not so much from the recordings, because my understanding was because of the rainstorms, the internet was terrible. And so I saw a lot of text messages and posts online. It was like, I can't hear you. It's this. And the typical frustrations that people go through, which I'm sorry about, because there were some really good kingdom points that came out from what was being shared. But I think what was most important was decisions that you make. This aligns, ladies, with what we are doing. It's decisions that you're making to determine your character and who you're really choosing to be. And I found that listening to a lot of what was said, or what observing without being seen, and you can connect to how, what's the best way to put it, how we can be habitually attached to be in a certain way, and yet God has not created us to be that way. Think about the name of our broadcast, Divinely Designed. And then we talk about being 21st century women. But the objective of that was to manifest as kingdom of God women in the 21st century. Now we understand that, and it's something that we've had to continually kind of explain. And we've talked, of course, about relationships. We've talked about marriage or being unmarried, and we talked about a lot of that. And I think where we're keyed in on right now is aspects of the characteristics of the Proverbs 21 woman. And specifically, it has more to do with how do you handle business, the business of your life? How do you redeem your time or manage your time, dispense your time, 168 hours in any given week? How much of that time is allocated for other people? How much of that time is allocated for yourself? And how much of it is just kind of all kind of stuck together, and you extract an hour here for this and an hour there for that, but it's unorganized, disorganized, or lost because I don't know where the time went. Now we get to say that when we're having this beautiful conversation, and yet it's basically 5 hours out of our lives because here we all are together. So I'd like to explore that a little bit if it's of interest to you. If not, then feel free to come up with a different topic. But I'm looking at, what do I want to make time for? And what have I given too much of my time and attention that is not going to prove to be fruitful? I don't cut people out of my life. They can go as they choose. I choose how much time I want to invest in them. Sometimes it's dependent upon how they invest in me. But I'm learning, no, as a spirit, when I look at these things from a different perspective, then it's no longer that introspective, are you for me or against me, or all of those other components, because I'm not going to look for my fulfillment in life from other people. It's going to come from the wrong. I'm going to be fulfilled by sometimes the actions. There are some wonderful things that transpire because of my relationships. But here's a question. Is it possible that we have put too much pressure and too many demands on other people to satisfy aspects of our lives, our time, or even our projects that God himself wanted us to come to him for, to get the things outside of time instead? That sounds like a lovely Yoda moment. So who wants to take it? Anybody? Everybody? Somebody? Take it.
I'll take it. Um, because that I spend a lot of time alone, and by choice, and I have recently come to the realization that uh, the way I see my time alone is not the way I want to see my time alone anymore, because I saw it as a punishment, and also like I enjoy being alone to not deal with other people's stuff. I got my own stuff to deal with. I don't want to. That's how I was seeing things, and so I just like and appreciate my time alone. But I would keep myself busy instead of going to God, instead of reaching out to Him. And I think this time is it's time for me to really get to know Him, for me to be able to hear Him, and to find out as I'm learning, find out what it is that He wants me to do. Instead of me going through my checklist, is actually stopping and turning to Him throughout the day, not just during prayer time, but like throughout the day, in I don't want to say simple things, but things I wouldn't consider before. I just wouldn't think to ask Him certain things throughout the day. And now it's becoming more of an ongoing conversation. Whereas like my heart is screaming out to Him. And even a little while ago, it's like I got a medical bill, and I'm like, what? It's like so not in my radar, so not in the current budget, and I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna take this on the way I would have. It's like, okay, how? How is this gonna come? What do I need to do? And going to get a job is not the answer. Like that, I know. Like I'm not afraid to work, but that's not what I feel he wants me to do. So it's like, okay, well, if I'm not to go do that, then I need some guidance, and I'm not gonna let that spiral. I'm not gonna let it spiral me because something threw a wrench in my plans. So I'm sharing this because it's my heart's desire to turn to Him and not just see time for me or my family time, and how much time, like, should I be spending so much time at the baseball games, my nephew's baseball game? I say yes, but I don't know, what does God say? But things like that, is it more of helping? Like, I enjoy it, but is that what I'm supposed to be doing during those times? And it's one more season, but or maybe not. It might be the rest of his life. I don't know how long he'll be playing baseball. But really asking and sometimes coming to that realization, like, I don't know that I want the answer. And so sometimes I realize too is like, if I'm going to ask, I better be willing to take the answer and be obedient about it, because then it's going to be worse off. Because then it's true disobedience for me to ask God, like, what do you want me to do? Is like, well, I just wanted your opinion, but that's not really what I want to do. So that's not going to do that. But that's kind of the conversations of what I'm having, and also looking, not looking, but also realizing, I it's in my heart's desire to spend more time with people, which is a little bit like, ugh, do I really want this? But if it's coming from my heart, it's like, okay, there must be a reason why. And so I've reached out to a few different people and it's like, hey, do you want to get together? Hey, do you want to catch up? Hey, you want to meet for coffee? And so those are some of the things that are have been outside my comfort zone. Like, I won't necessarily initiate. It's not a big deal, but it's just not something I would really do. But now it's changing, and I'm going with it, and seeking first, and implementing what we're learning, what I'm learning. Yeah, so that's my take on that question that you you opened up.
I love that. And sorry, Crystal, you can go ahead. Okay. That's so interesting too, because I spend a lot of time alone also. But I find I've discovered recently that, especially with family, I think about the things that go on with them, the problems they're having, the issues, whatever it is. Because frequently people do come to me and ask me to help them fix something. But also, I've realized that I spend a lot of my mental energy thinking about those things because that's easier than thinking about the things in my life, the things that I should be doing, or, for example, the optimize your brain, because I know the things that we're being taught work, the things that I have applied. But at the same time, it's, I don't want to say challenging, but it is, because you have to remain focused. You have to consider these things every moment of every day. And I don't know why, but it's easier for me to think about how to help someone else than it is to actually do the things to help myself. Why do I avoid actually making those changes? I think about it, but there are things that I know I need to be doing that I haven't done yet. Instead, I'm thinking about this family member and the thing that's going on in their life, or my kids, or my parents, my siblings, my whoever. Is it a cop out? Is it? I'm really having to evaluate these things. Why am I doing the things? It's a self-destructive pattern, and I think it's been prevalent throughout my life. So it's time to consider those things, and I do have to put it before God too, because he's the only one that can give me the answers that I need and lead me in the direction that I'm supposed to be going. It's a matter of applying myself to myself. And that sounds so self-centered, but I know that's even that part of it is, it's just a season, because that's going to reveal my identity, reveal who he designed me to be. And therefore, then I can stop focusing on me because I'll be able to do the things that he assigns me to do. But I think it's so interesting that because we're both kind of loners on the one hand, but at the same time, those stark differences in how we approach life and our coping mechanisms, because that's exactly what they are. They're coping mechanisms that we have probably used for years, um, and not always to much success.
You guys hit the nail on the head. I it's funny today. I was speaking with someone, and they kind of use the analogy of when you're on the plane, and that little what's it the mask comes down, and you have to put yours on first before you can. They tell you this: put yours on first, and they show you a little demonstration before you can help someone else or put theirs on. And it really hit home for me today because, I mean, really because what God is speaking to all of us. It's like, okay, you have been avoiding me in these areas because you don't want to deal with it. Because I'm gonna tell you, and you may not want. I think we don't know what it is. So when you don't know what it is, it's like I don't know if I want to do it. But really, if we think about it, we know God is really good. He's good to us. He has um, rescued us out of so many situations. He has led us into the right things. And yet we still try to hold on to that control. I know I find that for myself. And it's like, okay, when are you going to stop? And I think what the Lord is saying right now to us all, I believe, is like, come away with me. Spend this time, even in the worship that we're learning to do. It's like, come and get your answers. But don't do it the way that you normally do it. Come do it a new way. Let me show you. And it actually, and I know people don't know what I'm talking about, but we had a special thing we did yesterday in service um, where we worshiped the way God wanted us to worship. And it took all of us out of our comfort zones that we normally have, I believe. I know it did for me. And we could hear him. The thing he imparted to us. I mean, it was just as simple as following the instructions, right? So, I mean, I find that it's the same thing with our life. It's like, okay, I want to show you. I mean, that is the theme that I have been hearing. I want to walk you into the things that I've called you into the earth to do. I want to show you how to do it. I want to move all this other stuff that you've been avoiding me with and get that crap out. Come on, why don't you let me do it? I'm telling you, it may not always feel good, but it's going to be good because I'm leading you. So I'm hearing this, and there is a part of me, and I think that's that control part that always wants to fight. I want to hold on just a little longer. It's like, shut up and sit down. No, we're going to do it God's way. And I'm really, oh my God, there are some things that I'm letting go. And I have held on so tight. If I don't, it's not going to be good. So in order for it to be good for me and then good for the people that I say I so-called love, I got to do it for me. So then I can help them. So I mean, that's kind of where I am. I think that's what God is saying to all of us. And that's how I say I love people, and I do. I like to be out there, but the out there is more like superficial. It's not the close and up personal out there. You know what I mean? To be with somebody and really let your stuff be out there. Woo, I don't have that many people that I would share that with. But I like to be out and see people. Hi, how you doing today? Yeah. Oh, come here. It was good seeing you. But that's all surface. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not penetrating anything. And I really want to penetrate, and I want my life to be penetrated too. So that's my little spiel. I think we're all going through this.
That is wonderful and amazing. I just to share with you guys real quick. I don't know if you guys remember. I shared like last year or at some point the year before, speaking, Crystal, to you about what you said about relinquishing control. I shared a dream that I had, and I had it twice, different ways. And I shared with you guys how whenever I see my dad, who's no longer on this side, that he represents God the Father in my dreams. And so the two dreams I had, they were just slightly different. But in the first dream, what happened was my dad was just driving and I was in the passenger seat. And so as my dad was driving, he let go of the wheel and the car was still moving. And I was like, oh my gosh, grab the wheel. And I'm trying to reach and grab the wheel, like, you got, and he was like, relax, I've got this. Like, and it was like, and I woke up like, like, God, I'm sorry. Like, what areas? And so then I had it again. This time I was like in the back seat, and my dad did the same thing. And I said, okay, what other area is there? What am I trying to control? I let it go. But it was like, okay, I get it. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And so that's how God revealed to me that there were areas that I was trying to hold on to and like keep, tightly in control because, even when it comes to circumstances or like you said, Sochi, unexpected financial obligation came and it's like, so I could do this, I could do this, or you plan this, and God is like, okay, so when are you going to trust me? I'm the provider. So if you can do all this, then how do I get to be the God of your life? How do I get to be the one that provides for you? And so, like, it it's that level of trust and him changing us. And I also remember a couple months ago, one night, I was listening to an old song by Donnie McClurkin, I'll Trust You, Lord. And for some reason, this particular night, that song gave me such a gut punch. And I played it in the first like 10 seconds into the song, I'm bawling. And I'm like, yes, I'll trust you. I'll trust you. And so I put the song on like repeat, like 100 times. I repeated the song continually, just crying because it was like I could feel God pulling me to an area where it's going to have to be trust in him or nothing else. Like, and what he does with us is he allows circumstances or situations or things where, okay, you're gonna put your money where your mouth is. And it's like, okay, what you say, put up or shut up. You do all this preaching and you trust the Lord, trust God. You do all this, trust him. He's Jehovah Jireh. He's this. Okay, now it's your turn. Everything you taught everybody else, now you're going to walk that out. And it's like we have to be reminded we're the first partakers. And so it's like, okay, now it's coming back around again. And it's like, okay, God. And I mean, we're really out there. It's like, I didn't do like Peter and say, if it's you, bid me come. I didn't ask the question, but he still told me to get out the boat. So but nevertheless, it's like we're there. And so it's a matter of him. And if I can pull on something you said, because I watched the broadcast last week, Geneva, oh my gosh, like that part where you said, I'm not the same person I was a year ago, and I'm not going to be the same person a year from now. But taking it a little further, even a month ago, or even last week, like he's changing us day by day. So even the level of trust, the level of belief, the level of learning who he is, it's not how we knew him last week. It's not who we were in him even last week, but he's changing us even more day by day. And the fact that we've been given invitation, like you said, the message for you guys on Sunday, on yesterday, that the invitation is to come closer, to come up higher. It's like, okay, God, we're getting to know you. And so it's like all those feelings of, whatever it is, they've got to go, but he's actually revealing himself and revealing us, because we're supposed to mirror that. So it's exposing a lot of things in a lot of areas. So woo, we're out the boat. Glory to God. We're out the boat.
I think it's interesting. Perspective is one thing. And I made the comment, we make it hard. God does not. I think about Jesus spending 39 days in the wilderness and being able to come out of it completely changed. Never going back. Now, whether that had much also to do with the time that he spent praying, the times that he kept going back into wilderness type of settings, or what that happened to be, that's something I'm going to ask him about to get a greater understanding. But my overall thought is, and I've heard it kind of mentioned by a number of you. Sochi, I want to say something. The baseball games, you factor into your schedule so that the other stuff is taken care of. Everybody gets time to breathe and be at leisure. There are some, when you're in a pursuit of something, then everything else gets moved to the side. But yet there are some things that don't. See, as you were talking, Geneva, and my thought was, yeah, that's definitely, I believe, the definition of overthinking something. And I thought about some of those little reels that you see where these women are talking about when they're with their husbands, men, or whatever it is, and how he's thinking, go to the right, look at, there's the exit strategy, here's this, and she's walking around going la 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 do 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 do, because she's with him, he's taking care of everything. And I think they were adorable, and I can connect to that because it's like, hey, I trust you to take care of stuff. So why aren't we singing those little songs in our head when we're walking with the Lord? Why are we uh, overthinking? I did not actually have an understanding of what that is, and men are very good at telling women you're overthinking the thing. Now I understand when we're saying that, what did he mean by that? And let me divide it by 7. And can you divide it by 7? Only if it is 7, because 7 is not a number that things are able to be. But there were nuances to that tone. The fact that he da 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 da, whatever the things happen to be. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Does he still like me, or did I just flunk? I'm not sure. Because last week he was very intense about these things, and now this week he could give a rip. Okay, so what did I do wrong? It must be me. Oh no, I don't smell. Maybe I should change perfume. I'm not quite sure. I mean, and it goes on and on. All right, that's overthinking, I think. But sometimes it's like, well, no, it's just the way my mind goes free. It's like, then why don't you bind it? Because it's taking you into some places that you don't need to go. But how about when God's in charge? How about when he's actually taking care of something and you know it? I mean, you're so sure of it. As you said, the bill came in. It's like la 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 toot toot, and this is happening, and it's like, oh, we're going to need X amount of such. Okay, reach out and breathe, breathe. Whoo, ha, 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 ha. I'm breathing. And there's a crisis happening over here. Yeah, I heard about that. Wow. God, I wanted to look into that. What is there anything that you wanted me to do? Or do you just have that one sorted? Okay, other resources, fine. And I'll just pray. Then, sometimes, oh, you need my boots on the ground. Well, I didn't feel like going, but I can sense that you want me to. Okay, let me go get my shoes and I'm just going to do it. I was reprimanded because I had been in the habit, in a groove of continually saying, I don't have a car. And my mom and I had this little conversation on the way home from the airport on Saturday. It was really Sunday morning by the time we started heading home. And she said, "You sound like you're poverty minded." I said, "I'm not." And I wasn't arguing about what she said. I was making a statement. I'm not poverty minded. So the fact that I sounded like I was for me, that was a no no. And I've been reading a book. I'm not going to go into who's or what or any of that right now. But one of the things the guy was talking about is looking into spiritual matters and speaking heaven's language. And so I thought about it and thought, do I even know the alphabet? And when you're learning a language, you must learn the alphabet, because otherwise, how are you going to recognize the words when you're reading them and stuff? So it's my pleasure to go on this journey and to do this type of this is my quest. Let me just use that, since I'm writing a book about a quest. This is one of my quests. And so my theme music is playing. It's a new different song, and I get to, do this stuff to what's in my pack. What am I carrying? I don't know. Angels are packing it for me. What direction should I be looking in? Because it's obviously going to be something I've never done before. And you're getting to set the landmarks, and I'm just going to go along, and I'll just use the song. It's not an original song, but hi ho, it's on a venture I go. La 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 la, and off we go. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. It's a joy to do it. Have you ever traveled through life on the wings of joy, instead of me trying to be the problem solver? I can't give anybody a solution for anything. Nope, not even doing it, because I don't have your answers. I just know the one that does. And I don't have my answers, but I know the one that does. And when I ask the right questions, and I've got a great new question, and I'll give it to you. But this is the question that I'm asking now. And Michelle, it kind of leans towards some things you would challenge me with on my birthday thingy. And birthday thingy, that would be the broadcast that we were on where we were celebrating my birthday last month. Let me finish the other story first. As I started questing into what my mom was saying, it sounded mayhap like I was rejecting it. I wasn't. I went, let me go look this up now, because the wisdom that she had released to me was something that I needed to see. And it was not being upset with her. I was being discomfited with myself. You're doing this? Why are you doing this? You're not in charge of your life. You're only in charge of your decisions about your life, meaning when the king presents it to you, your responsibility is to obey. That's it. And so that way I don't get all legalistic into that and doing all of these other things. So the question that I ask nowadays is, so what did I do that changed this to make it what it was, that the outcome that you had determined it to be? I'm going to ask from the future. Tell me the story about my now. What did I do in this instance that turned this thing around? I'm going to turn the page and see, because on the next page it says what I did. And I like to know that, even as he just says, turn left or do whatever it is that you do. All right, I'm going to do that. And that's what I did, so that this next thing happened. What did I do that changed it around so that the car actually showed up when I started driving it? What kind of car is it? Not what do I want, not what do you have? What did I choose? Because now I'm between two. They're both white, BMW and Volvo. So pretty, so cute, it's adorable, must have sunroof and all of this other kind of stuff. Because which one am I rocking in? And even though my heart has been towards the Volvo, it's like it's the BMW, I think, but I'm not quite sure, but I'll see it, because it's like, show me what I looked like. Where did I go? What was I wearing? Because I got all kinds of clothes here. So which ones was I wearing for this? When I went to this, where did I go? Show me a snapshot. But the question again, for those who wonder, what did I do that solved this problem? Because it's been written about me. We're not writing this as we go. We're living out what was written, if we choose. And it's like, out of whose book? God's book or the other book. I'll probably teach on some of this tomorrow. I don't know. But can you see what I mean? And it's so I get to smile again and I get to be joyous again. Because frankly, I don't like being in dour or sour. I don't like being depressed. I don't like, there's enough unhappy people in the earth that I'm going to spark that I don't have to be one of them. But if I do have those moments, and I do on occasion, then my question is, what did I do that changed this around? What song did I sing? Because I'm going to sing it now, you see. And sometimes I'll find out after the fact on the other side of it, and sometimes not. So have fun with that. Somebody, anybody.
I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Cause one, it's like that emoji mine. Like it's actually blowing up all our um lackadaisical, complacent, way of thinking, because we always think safe. We don't think God, we think safe. And so a lot of times we make decisions based on our ability, not on reality, which is God's reality. And so it's like actually like you said, lighting a spark, you're lighting a spark in all of us now, cuz it's like I've been thinking safe all this time. Like seriously, realizing who he is and coming out of the box. We always say we will, and we say we're taking God out. We take God out and we jump in. And I'm realizing, like, with what you said, it's like, oh my gosh, like, no, what is it? You said which one am I choosing? Which whatever are we choosing? Or are we, still saying, oh, well, I got to wait for this and I got to wait for that and I got to make sure this is in place? And because that I know I think like that. And so, oh my gosh, I love that. I love it, love it, love it. That we I've got to do better. I will do better. Not got to do better. I will do better, because that ignited something surely in me. I love that. Which am I going to choose? Not just when can I, or what will happen. No, which one? Oh my gosh, I love
The
that.
question
Thank you
was,
so much.
which one did I choose?
Did you choose? I love that. Love it. Thank you so much for that. So, oh my gosh, that resonates so much within me. It just, you have no idea. That just, whoo, that's how I feel. Big breath. Oh, that's all I have to say. I pass it along, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's so good. And it's the thing that I keep having to remind myself at this point of similarly, because for 3 years, there were things that were done there were manipulations. I'll put it that way. And my tendency is to consider those things and think about the manipulation. But what God keeps reminding me of is the fact that every single one of those things, He took advantage of it. And He did what He wanted in regards to my life, the people I know, the situations that I have been given opportunities in. And every single time, it's a positive. My flesh looks at it and wants to focus on the manipulation and see it as negative, negative, negative. And yet, in all honesty, I can't say it like that because God's purpose would have been fulfilled regardless, but in every single situation, it worked out for my good. Not that the manipulation was good, but the fact that my father had a plan, and his plan was not to be thwarted. So no matter what arrow, weapon was formed against me, because we all know that manipulation is not of the kingdom. And yet, here I sit with all of you. And this is a direct result of God utilizing a negative thing that was being done to me to have a glorious, wonderful, positive outcome in the end, because he is the one who orders my steps. So I just love this.
I do too. I was sitting here thinking like, wow. It's so funny, Michelle, you said we put God in a box, but he's never in a box. It's just us thinking that way. He's never in a box. I got a word years ago about all the boxes that I kept myself into, or I put myself into my thinking. And it is so true. When you said that, PL, I thought about what if. It's really what if. Wait a minute. But what if? You talking about your Volvo, and I've seen the Volvo. Nice. We've ridden in it. Very nice. It's like, don't limit God. What? And I have, wow. I'm not, even Sochi. There was a time when we all talked about, I think maybe even on this program, or maybe when we went to South Carolina. But you were talking about going to, I was just getting to the point where we're going to the place where we went to, but you were all the way down the street and around the corner talking about something totally different. And I was like, wow, how does she even think about that? You know what I mean? What? I'm thinking way, way too small. But that's the thing. I think that, even going back to our last conversation, getting out, being around others that they have that imagination, that thing that helps us to grow, that helps us to expand. Gosh, I'm sitting here. I mean, I thought what you said was excellent too, PO, but it stuck me a little bit because I was like, ooh, that kind of hurt because, I have been stuck in a box. It's the truth, but it's like, and it's so weird when you've been in that place. It's like you feel yourself wanting to pull out, I mean, literally, I was sitting here actually going through those motions, and I don't know, my face, I got to rewatch this program because my face, I could have probably had some looks on my face because I was like, I'm trying to get out of there. Oh my God. That was such especially where I am right now. And I have no idea what God is going to do, but I have determined that it's going to be great. I don't want to be stuck to where I'm only thinking of these little small things when he's such a great, huge, magnificent God. He's the one that gives us the creative ideas. He's the one that actually gets us to those places that we would even think it's possible. My Lord, this right now, this is a little hot topic. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead, Sochi. I know we're not supposed to do that. You jump in when you want, but
All right. Well, first I want to say hi to, or we all want to say hi to Miss Diane, Cousin Hester, Spiritual Life 144. Thank you for the comments and being here. We absolutely just love and appreciate you participating. So I want to start with that. The second thing is that if I was in charge of some of Dr. Baker's videos, I would have think that they've been leaked. The one from this Thursday, you both have already touched on it, and I'm like, oh. She recorded it earlier today, and both of you, Pastor Lonzie and Pastor Michelle, you both have like hit on aspects of what she talked about that I'm like, oh. It's like, it's, you know, that's our God communicating to everybody with a similar message and being able to hear it. And Pastor Lonzie, for me, you know, as you were talking, I'm like, oh, I'm asking all the wrong questions and it's a bad habit, right? But that's what I'm breaking, because I'm like, so God, you know, I haven't done my taxes for 2023. So remember we got that bill? I remember, you know, I can go see the accountant, so I'm about to pay him to like do that. And, you know, you already saw this and you got to right? So I know you got it, right? But it's like, I'm looking at that, right? And it's, and that's where it's like, okay, I'm trusting. I'm going to keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm going to keep my eyes focused on what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. But I thank you, because I will be asking. And so how did you do this? Because he has sustained me. He has absolutely not only sustained me, but has given me so much this year that I'm just like, how is this even possible that I, you know, that I don't know, that I haven't been taken to some kind of jail of some sort, because of just the things that have happened this year. This is unreal. Like, this is not, like, I know this is not what my life was supposed to be, unless this is what my life is supposed to be right now, to get me to really trust him for what he has coming up next. Because I wouldn't be here with all of you. I wouldn't be with Dr. Baker if I wasn't supposed to be doing something, if I wasn't supposed to be learning. And it's nice to hear the comments, because I don't think about what I say and the impact it has on you all. But the impact you all have on me is tremendous, because all of you have gifted me with so much, not only throughout this year that has been like one wall after another, but the love that you all have shared, and your wisdom and your words and your love, it is just, so I've been taking notes. because I do, it's like I want to break from those bad habits, because to me that's a bad habit. You know, I mean, I know I can have worse habits, but to me that's a bad habit. It's like I got to be asking better questions, and the trust is coming along. But boy, it's like what a just so much that he wants for all of us, if we would just be, if we could just do. Hi Donna, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, it is so beautiful to be able to share life, like going through these things and being able to share the wisdom that you all have shared. That is like, yeah, let's play with that this upcoming week and see what happens. Let's do that. See, it's like, this is fun. We could do this. I could do this. Because Pastor Lanzine, you said such a beautiful setting, right? You're like, can you do this and this? And I'm just like, we got a little checklist of certain things that need to be done here. Like, such different personalities, different ways we see. But I love how we complement each other. How we all of us. That's it.
I love it too. Can I add to it? Want me to add another piece to it? Okay. This actually happened in Louisiana, and it was one of the best ever moments. I'm sitting in the hotel lobby talking to, I call him Cousin David, Pastor David Braxton, and our wonderful friend Tracy Johnson was with me. And we were sitting in the lobby and we were chatting. Actually, I was showing him some things in the book, and he started sharing about the stuff that him, his wife, their ministry, everything that they're doing. And we're listening, and it was like, wow, that's amazing. And I made some comments that were point on in terms of how imaginative, creative, and amazing they are. That I love that whole church. I'm not mentioning church names today, but anyway. And it happened. We're sitting there and we're talking, and I said, you know what, I see my perspective as a pastor, what kind of pastor I am, because I'm very non-traditional in the way that I do what I do. And out of my mouth came this thing like, but what I really want to do, what my passion is to create the things and plant the seeds in the minds of other people that will help them to create the ideas, develop the ideas, and create these things that can be very well monetized because they're the best on the market. And bam, it hit. And I was sharing this with, I don't know who I shared it with. The Spirit of the Lord brought back to my remembrance my master's thesis that I had written, obviously, to get my master's degree. And that's been quite a few years ago. I've been looking for that document. I have not been able to find it as of yet. But he brought something back. When I wrote out what the product development was and all of these other things, my degree is in, what is that in? Marketing. And so I have an MBA in marketing. So I'm going through all these things in the presentation. And out of my mouth came, I know what we're going to do, because we're going to take this product and we're going to create this with it. Now, what's powerful about what I'm saying is I'm purposely not, I forgive me, but I have to be purposely vague at this time. But what happened, excuse me, was that I saw it. So I know it exists, and I spoke it. He spoke it, he nudged it, and I saw it, and we just pulled it into existence. So this is one of the things that I did. If you catch this, what did we do as a ministry? What did we do as a people? What did we do as kingdom citizens that helped to promote and to do thus and so? And he gave me the picture of it. This is this thing that I spoke of, that in this timing we would say what I'm going to do. No, it's what I did. And this is the beginning of that. Am I making any sense? And what I'm saying is how it happened. Catch this, as they say, was I articulated a desire to meet a need from the perspective of the kingdom of God. And because it is the desire of the king to make such a thing, it is the desire of the king for that thing. Me speaking that thing was like the scepter being extended to me. Go do that thing that you already did. Now you're going to see how you did it. It's so much fun. It's like, I don't do the Yoda speak, but I know it's kind of, it's, Yoda tries to speak like the kingdom of God as opposed to it. And evangelist, you got it. So yeah, it's not what I'm going to do. It's what I did that you see me do right now. But hey, Fresh Prince had the best song. Now, this is a story all about how the kingdom of God came from future to now. So, anyway, she didn't sing that one, but there it is. Okay. So, gee willikers, ladies, we only got 3 minutes. I'll be quiet so we can say our goodbyes. I'll try. I know I'm talking about this kind of stuff on tomorrow's broadcast. So say what y'all going to say, but let's have some fun with this. And, we can meet on Zoom and talk. Let's get this party started. Anyway, okay.
Thank you all for joining. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Geneva. Go ahead.
I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight and for all the wonderful comments. I hope you can tell we've enjoyed it. We've had a wonderful time, and we are having a wonderful time on this journey that God is taking us all on. We love you. See you next week.
Yes, I also say thank you to everybody. And I'm so happy we have a strategy, we have a plan. We're going to execute on our plan. Yay!
And I wanted to say hi, Mom, and hi, Hester. Even though now it's over, but this was a lot of fun. The time went so fast. I'm like, where did the time go? Zoop. But welcome. I'm so glad everyone joined tonight. It was fantastic.
And our sister Denise, I know you came in late, but hello and good evening to you too. This has been great. We always rev up at the end of the broadcast and want more time, but we are so glad you guys joined with us. We pray that you guys have been ignited to make the decision to do the thing, not to think about doing it, but actually do it. Because we are excited and we have been ignited ourselves, and we hope you are too. Have a good evening. Good night. Thanks for joining us.
Sorry, very quickly, we also want to remind you to please go and visit love-unity.org and check out what's happening in the Loving Unity movement. Loving Unity is the sponsor for Kingdom First TV, which we are a part of, and you can see what other broadcasts are coming up. I'm on again tomorrow at 1:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Kingdom Conversations with Lunzine Lee. And I know it's going to be a great conversation. So I think I'm a party of one, but it's still going to be a lot of fun. So I invite you to join us if you can, or at least watch the replay. It's also on Kingdom First TV. We're on YouTube. We're on a various number of channels. So if we did not respond to your comment, we might not have been on the particular vehicle to do that. But we do want to thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to the things that are going to be happening as we play this out. You know that this broadcast has only about 4 more months. We end on December 30th. That will be our very last broadcast. We have no idea what's going to happen between now and then, except that you're going to see manifested transformation. That we have high expectation of, because that's the will of the King. And that's the reason this broadcast ever came together. Could go on and on and on, but I'm not. I got to say goodbye. So I want to thank you all. We, first of all, on behalf of our friends that are with us in spirit, not present, which would be Leslie and Anita and Latasha. They are a part of, and so we never leave them out. But along with them, there is Michelle and Crystal and Sochi and Geneva. And my name is Lunzine. And we have, I believe, demonstrated once again what God always wants us to know. Our lives and our things, we do participate in them. But the best and most powerful aspect of who we are is when we act not on man's design, but to live according to what he said, that we are divinely designed. So thank you all so much for joining. We will see you next week. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching King